Well, we're working on step 3, and I wanted to make this video a little less painful than the last one, so I did a lot of pre-organizing here, getting the correct hardware out in advance, as well as cutting the necessary parts out, which come from the D tree, as you can see there, and the A tree for that piece, plus the carbon fiber chassis portion. One thing to note that's important is this has a countersink in it, so you want to have that face down on this chassis piece. And this is going to be tricky to put together. This is all loose and falls apart easily until we start getting these nuts and bolts put in. And as you can see, these measurements are very accurate on these screws. So they should lay right over top perfectly when you're laying out trying to find the right screw, because there's flat heads, there's countersunk ones, different sizes of nuts that are just slightly different. So you really want to place things into these templates to make sure you're working with the right hardware when you build one of these, if you haven't built one before. If you have, you know that. If you haven't, please take that advice. And I'm going to put the camera on the tripod while I screw these pieces in. I'm not going to be able to build this car in sequence order because I don't have my radio yet. And so that's an issue. I'll be jumping around where you guys, if you already have a radio, you can build this in sequential order, not only just a radio, but a speed controller and all of that. So you will need all of that to build the car in absolute sequence. You'll need a steering servo, a speed controller, and all of your radio paraphernalia, unless you don't plan on running the car, of course. But there's steering mechanism stuff, and you want to be able to put all that in. If you plan on running the car, you don't want to build it up too much and then have to take it all apart to reinstall it. So that's where we are here, and I'll screw these in, holding both of those nuts with my fingers while I tighten these down. And off camera, I can tell you, I had this fall apart on me, and I had the suspension pieces, so I lost a spring and had to go chase that down, and all these crazy things that happen when you're building one of these things. Okay, so that's that. So that at least now starts to hold everything together. This piece looks like it goes here, like so. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me anyway, based on the diagram. And that takes 2 screws to get that in. And we'll get that in loosey-goosey, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, right there. Okay. Let's get that lined up. Once again, these are tough to screw in on the ones that don't have nuts and bolts. The plastic is very tight, requires a lot of wrist strength and the right size and depth of a Phillips head screwdriver so you get the maximum connection to the screw. And I just keep fumbling with different screwdrivers trying to, this one seems to be working better for me. So, getting that in, 1 out of 2, I can tell you that my wrists just can't enjoy doing this anymore. This is really not fun for me. So I'll get that in. Make sure it's, see, it's wobbling. You don't want anything to wobble. These pieces got to be really tight because they got to, you know, withstand the stresses that are put on this car when it's running. So you got to make sure they're as firm as you can make these screws go. These are easier because there is a nut holding them. So to torque these down, it's not bad. All right, so that's step 3. If you look, step 4, we start dealing with the steering servo, the speed controller, and assembling all that, and that's all related to, so this is your steering servo, your speed controller, and your receiver. So I can't do any of that. And as a result of that, I can't do these steps either. 5, 6 is kind of, I shouldn't do it. I'm just going to end up having to take it all apart. You can see that the steering servo is going to get blocked into the main chassis, so I can't do that. I can work on this next. Looks like this is a separate element. And by the way, here's all the pieces again, more organized from A to W. Missing quite a few. I guess the screws and nuts and bolts have designations. There's really not a ton of parts, but it'll take some time to build it. I should be getting my radio and accessory set sometime before the end of the week or by the end of the week. And so my goal is to have this car assembled by the weekend. It's currently Tuesday of November 4th. This is election day, so I would have had this day off anyway, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll get paid today, who knows? But that's just a side note. And let me tell you, once again, that these screws and everything, they're not all in the same bag, and they have lots of bags. I don't know why they don't put the related, like put all the MA9s in one bag and the MA2s in one bag. I don't know why they do, what their logic is to do some of this. I mean, some make sense, like they put all the bearings in a bag, but, you know, it's a hodgepodge on some of these bags. So you got to go through them carefully. You got to use your template and make sure you look at these things. Look at how, you know, you've got to get the heads just right. You just got to take your time and make sure you do it right the first time, because unscrewing and rescrewing these things in, they're tough. Okay, you're seeing that firsthand. So I'm going to set up for 7, and I'll record another video when I've got that set up and ready to go. And we'll pick it up from there.